In February 2009, a woman walking her dog on the West Mesa of Albuquerque, New Mexico, stumbled upon something strange. At first, she thought it was nothing more than a piece of trash, but when she looked closer, she realized it was a human bone. What began as an unsettling discovery quickly spiraled into one of the most chilling and mysterious true crime cases in modern American history. Over the next weeks, investigators unearthed the skeletal remains of 11 women and one unborn child, all buried in shallow graves across the dusty, barren mesa. The case would forever be known as the mystery of the West Mesa Bone Collector. The discovery shocked the entire city. Albuquerque, known for its desert landscapes and mountain views, suddenly became the setting for a nightmare. Detectives, forensic teams, and cadaver dogs descended on the mesa, working tirelessly under the hot sun and shifting winds. What they found was horrifying. One grave after another, stretching across the desert sands, holding the bones of women who had been missing for years. Many of these women had families who had reported them missing, but their cases had gone largely unnoticed, buried under the weight of poverty, addiction, and the stigma surrounding sex work. Most of the victims were young women of Hispanic or Native descent, many struggling with drug use or working the streets of Albuquerque's notorious East Central Avenue. Their names included Michelle Valdez, whose unborn child was buried with her, Victoria Chavez, who disappeared in 2000, and Cinnamon Elks, who had been missing since 2004. Each name revealed a person who had once been alive, who had dreams, families, and hopes before they vanished into silence. But who was responsible for their deaths? The investigation into the West Mesa killings quickly became one of the largest in New Mexico's history. Detectives scoured the area for clues, searching for any piece of evidence that might connect the remains to a suspect. But the graves had been there for years, exposed to the brutal desert elements. Sun, wind, and time had stripped away nearly all trace evidence. There were no weapons, no fibers, no fingerprints, and little DNA left behind. Whoever the killer was, he had chosen his dumping ground carefully, believing the desert would guard his secrets forever. Theories began to swirl. Many believed the killer was a man familiar with the world of sex work and drugs, someone who knew how to lure vulnerable women without drawing attention. Others thought he might have been a pimp, a John, or someone with deep ties to Albuquerque's underground. One suspect was a local man with a long criminal history of violence against women, including some who knew the victims. Another was a pimp who was rumored to have bragged about killing women. Yet despite strong suspicions, no solid evidence tied either man or anyone else to the murders. The public, terrified by the revelations, wondered if the bone collector was still at large. Had he moved on to another city? Or was he still living quietly in Albuquerque, walking among them unnoticed? Families of the victims were left in torment, knowing that someone out there had killed their loved ones but had never been brought to justice. For them, the mesa was not just a crime scene. It was sacred ground where their daughters, sisters, and mothers had been laid to rest. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of the case was how society had treated these women before their deaths. Many came from difficult backgrounds, struggling with addiction or poverty, and their disappearances hadn't always been treated with urgency. To some, they were seen as throwaways, women living on the margins. But the West Mesa discovery forced the world to acknowledge them. They were not faceless or forgotten. They were people, and their lives mattered. In the years since the discovery, detectives have never stopped working the case. Though leads have dried up, A break seemed possible in 2010 when a man connected to violent crimes in Colorado was investigated, but he was later cleared. Another potential suspect, a man who died in 2006, was rumored to have been involved, but no proof ever surfaced. The frustrating reality remains. Despite the size of the investigation, the West Mesa Bone Collector has never been identified. The case has left a haunting scar on Albuquerque. To this day, locals avoid the mesa, uneasy with its dark history. Families of the victims hold vigils, lighting candles and speaking the names of the women so that they are not forgotten. And the question lingers in the air. Who killed them? Was the bone collector a local man who died before being caught? Was he a drifter who moved on after burying his victims? Or is he still alive, watching, waiting, his identity hidden in plain sight? The desert knows the answer, but it has kept its secrets well. The story of the West Mesa Bone Collector is not just about a faceless killer. It is about the women whose lives were stolen, the families still searching for answers, and a chilling reminder that evil can hide in the most ordinary places. Until the killer is named, the winds across the mesa will continue to whisper of forgotten lives and justice still denied. Please subscribe for more true crime stories.